Hey guys, welcome back to Ben's Got Your Back, Fitness for a Better Spine. And today I'm going to show you some smarter deadlifts that are going to help you build a better body. Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to take a traditional deadlift and make it a better exercise by changing the stability requirements. But let's start with the story. So when I was in high school, I was a competitive distance runner. I wanted to be the top track and field athlete, and I was willing to do whatever training was necessary. And what I thought would help me was going in a gym and building a lot more strength so that I could be the strongest person on the track and field. And so I went in the gym and I saw people with barbells, loaded plates, trap bars, those other things that you use to deadlift. And I thought, well, that's a good exercise. Everybody's doing it. It seems to be one of the basics. I should do it too. And so I did a lot of deadlifting. And when you're deadlifting with a barbell, rarely do you see people change the exercise. The only change people make is they add more weight to the barbell. And while going up in weight certainly has its place, it's not actually the best way to progress a deadlift. And I'm going to talk about that today. Okay, so let's talk about why adding weight to your deadlift is not the best way to progress your deadlift. Let's start by looking at a traditional deadlift here. So I'm going to hinge down, grab the USB, come up, and lower it back down. Let's take a moment to hone in on what my feet look like here. So my feet are hip width distance apart, my body weight is equally distributed across both of them, and I'm in what's called a very stable position here, meaning it's going to be very difficult for me to fall over or lose my balance because my body weight is so well equally distributed. And there's nothing wrong with being in a stable position other than it doesn't reflect the demands of real life. So in real life, we spend our time not with our body weight equally distributed and our feet in the same line with each other. Oftentimes we have one leg back, we have one leg off the ground, we have our body weight shifted toward one side. And these are the moments where we need a large amount of spine, pelvis, and hip stability. And when we don't have that, that's when we tend to injure ourselves. We can also look at sport. So in almost no sport other than professional lifting do we ever have our feet like this in a super stable position. So if we look at running, we almost always have one foot off the ground. If we look at tennis, golf, surfing, rarely do we have our feet in such a stable position. So what we need is our exercises to reflect our needs to be stable in less stable positions. So what are we going to do here? We're just going to change the position of the lower body and we're going to make it less stable, more single leg oriented so that our bodies can be prepared for the real life events that happen. So we're going to go over 3 different deadlifts here. The first is going to be called the staggered stance deadlift. So I'm going to start in a normal deadlift position and I'm just going to slide one leg back and I'm going to be on the ball of that back foot. I'm going to hip hinge down just like a normal deadlift. I'm going to come up and then back down. And because one leg is back, my body is going to want to fall this way and rotate this way. So I'm going to have to resist that by pulling this way and resisting rotation this way. And because of that, I'm firing more of those stabilization muscles in my spine, pelvis, hip, and even foot. So now we can take that same concept and we can make the deadlift even more single leg dominant. So this time I'm going to start in the staggered stance And as I come up, the leg is going to come forward, and then as I come down, it's going to go back. And what you'll notice here is that this deadlift really reflects the way we move in life in terms of walking and running, where we have one foot planted and then we have the other leg moving around it. So this is even more of a single leg exercise. And now let's look at a third different variation of the deadlift you can do. So this is going to be the most advanced of the three that I show you tonight. So I'm going to grab a slider here. These things are really fun. They're just so satisfying, right? And I'm going to bring the bag against my shins. I'm going to start with this leg slid back, and I'm going to come up, slide forward, and then push into the ball of the foot on the slider, slide back, come down, and then come back up and back down. So this is the least stable positions, and it's the most exercise, the most single leg exercise of the three that I showed you. So in essence, being more stable on one leg is what's going to really set us up to be really successful in athletics and real life events, which is ultimately going to make us more injury resilient. And that's why doing the traditional deadlift and just adding more weight is not going to get you the results you're looking for if you're looking to be strong for real life, strong in athletics, and pain-free.